Good morning and welcome. Happy Friday. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I'm Karen, this Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. I'm going to use the Somnia Tarot today for our daily reading. Uh, let's see what we got going on today. Let's see. Whoops. Okay, let's see. Current situation. Chariot. Oh, these are going to be both ways. Present influence. Yeah. Queen of Wands. Future influence. Ace of Pentacles. Unexpected. High Priestess. Challenge. Moon. Strength. Knight of Pentacles. Where does this lead? Knight of Cups. Four of Cups. Three of Swords. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. We'll talk about that. Advice. Two of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor. So this... So when I look at the end of this, you know, with the Knight of Cups coming in, but there's an interesting shift because the Four of Cups, Knight of Cups to Four of Cups. So the Knight of Cups, I feel like, is an energy that you thought you might be looking for. I'm almost getting that kind of impression here, but okay, I feel like, yeah, this is you, like trying to control a situation or have more control over a situation. And it could be just in general, like, you know, just having more control in general. But let's see how that moves forward. So we have the Chariot in current situation, which to me, the Chariot is forward movement. There's something moving forward here, or it could be moving on your mind, traveling. Something's on, could be just on your mind. I'll clarify it to see exactly. But the Queen of Wands in the present influence, there's an energy here. I feel like it's someone probably that might be influencing you to do something, take a new look at things. Maybe even it could be about work. It could be about literally moving. But I feel like they're kind of pushing this chariot on you, which I don't believe is a bad thing. Like, right? Like they're being encouraging. When I say pushing, I should say encouraging. You know, you to move towards something here. So, what is the Queen of Wands? We'll take a look at that first in the present influence today. What is the Queen of Wands? What is the Queen of Wands? Six of Swords, Death, and Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, I feel like, I mean, this even could be you, but I do feel like for some of you, it's others. Like there is the Six of Swords is right, the moving towards out of something that's not so good or not putting you in a happy place, and you know, transforming. So it's that same forward movement, you know, and it's growth. Both of these would be considered growth. And the Nine of Pentacles is then seeing what you have. So I feel like, I almost feel like there's another person that's seeing what you have to offer, and also seeing that you're trying to work on something, you know, whether it could be work or something, but someone is seeing this and also encouraging you to some degree. Now, this Queen of Wands does not have to be female. um I get the feeling it is, but it doesn't have to be. It could be anything. Let's take a look at the Chariot, because maybe that'll I mean, it could be a man or a woman. And I say that because when you do collective readings, I don't look at the quartz as specific to gender. I do more so in personal readings, but not so much in collective. And yeah, it is different reading for the collective than reading for an individual. Okay, tell me about this chariot, please. What is this? So the the Empress, Strength, and the Queen of Swords. Wow. The Empress and Strength. It's almost like I got the feeling when I saw these two cards is like gathering up your strength. Like the Empress, it looks to me like she's sewing, but I feel like it's a gathering and then getting to the point where you're like, okay, I've got this, I've got the strength. And so all of this forward movement has come from you having a plan with the Queen of Swords. So there is a feeling of being in a position where you feel like you've collected everything you have done and you feel like, okay, I'm strong enough to do this. I have it within me to do this, because the strength is more of an inner strength type card anyway. So you're like, okay, I can do this. I have the ability. Hang on just a sec. I'm going to turn on the fan. Hold on. We've had rain, and so I'm in Tennessee, and in the morning, sometimes the humidity is just crazy. And it even feels it in the house. I even feel it in the house. So, yeah. So if I'm just going to like summarize, I do feel like there's an energy of someone pushing you, directing you to move forward into doing something that it will probably benefit you because of that Six of Swords. And the current situation being the Chariot is you're taking on that and you're saying, yes, I'm going to move forward into something better. So whether this is work, love, it could be any life area. It does lead there's the Ace of Pentacles in the future influence. So that energy is, a new opportunity. It's also could be a discovery, because I see this as a discovery as well. Keep in mind, an influence is different than a situation. And being this energy is influencing you, it's almost like a kickstart, because it's like, yeah, I need something new, or I have something new. Let's clarify it. The good thing about that Ace of Pentacles, though, is that is something that will stay with you regardless of these cards out over here. I'm going to explain how I feel about these cards because to me, they're not necessarily bad. Even though it ends with the Three of Swords, I stopped there because I'm like, well, I don't feel like it's a negative, and I'll explain. But this drives it in a sense. Tell me more about this Ace of Pentacles. What is the Ace of Pentacles? Okay, Ace of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and Seven of Cups. Yeah, it's like, okay, so the Ace of Swords, right, is clarity. The Seven of Pentacles is the work that you've put in, and you have waited to see what's happened, and now you realize you have choices. And that comes from the Seven of Pentacles. But the Ace of Swords, though, as well, because it's that aha moment. The Seven of Pentacles is the work you've already done in the past. So it's a continuous thing. But I think that anything that you've done, anything that you've prepared for with the Seven of Cups, you now see what the choices are. And that is the discovery, probably, is the I have choices on how I want to move forward. I have choices on how I want to handle the situation. I have choices, whatever, that situation is for you, but I have choices to XYZ, and move into this area. The cool thing is that High Priestess, because that High Priestess is in your unexpected. And I feel like you're going to realize that your intuition is absolutely right. There's something happening here where you're going to feel vindicated almost, and in a sense of not in a negative way, but in a, yep, that's what I thought, kind of way. Tell me more about the High Priestess. What is this? What is the High Priestess? Ten of Swords, Knight of Swords, the Chariot. So, I feel like there may have been something that was over, but the Knight of Swords kind of says it's coming back around. You see the Knight of Swords going to the Ten of Swords, and you kind of go, yep, I thought this would happen. I thought this would happen. And that's partially what the Chariot is. So there is something here where you're realizing that this is something that you have to deal with. It may be bad, it may be good, or maybe not bad, hard, or it may be good and positive. But I feel like that's also why you're in that Chariot position right now, where I'm inclined to move forward with whatever this is you're working on, because I feel like though in the near future, that future influence is that discovery that's really going to help you make a better decision. Because sometimes when we realize we have choices, it's actually harder. It's like, oh my God, now I got all these choices. How am I going to decide? I don't think it does that for you. I think it actually opens up for you in this type of reading where it's like, okay, now I don't have to settle. I don't have to stick with one thing. It leaves things open. So we have the moon. There is something that is about not having all of the answers yet. Things aren't 100% clear. So all that means is I feel like don't make that choice too soon, because things will become more clear in the near future with this moon card here. And the reason why I feel like it'll become more clear in the future, again, the way I feel about this moon in particular, this card, this deck, he is coming out of the fog. The now, in a sense, you could be, because it's in the challenge, you could be struggling coming out of that fog. You know, struggling finding the real answers, but I get more of the feeling that things aren't really clear, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge in making those choices. We have the Knight of Pentacles in your strength. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like with this Ace of Pentacles as well, that this is going to be a good energy moving forward, because what it is doing also is, as it's moving forward, yeah, it may not be happening as quick as you like, but you have the patience right now. And as the day to day happens, you're planting new seeds. You're still working on this. It may not be in the forefront of your mind. Again, with that High Priestess and the unexpected, that tells me too that, there could be a part of you that's, it's not on your mind 100% of the time. But you are continuing to do the work moving forward. So we've got the Knight of Cups to the Four of Cups to the Three of Swords. So what I'm getting here, and I'll try to explain this so that when I put this down, I got this immediately. The Knight of Cups, something comes in, and it's an offer, and it's a good offer as far as it's a nice, it's kind, it's a cup. So it's, it could be love, it could be work, but it's an offer. And so, but the cup alone doesn't have to be about love. It could be about what's important to you. It could be that it feels right, it feels good, or at least it's kind. And the Four of Cups, though, you don't want this offer. Like, you're not looking at the offer with the Four of Cups. Now, in the Rider White Four of Cups, you see that he's being handed a cup and he's not looking at it. In this one, he's blinded. His eyes are covered. He's got two cups on this shoulder apparatus, and then the two cups on the ground have a rope between them. So if he doesn't open his eyes, he loses all his cups, right? So he needs to take that blinder off. But right now, I feel like it's leading you to have a blinder. So in that sense, but I feel like it's just something that you're not sure you want. And the reason why the Three of Swords is here is I think that you thought you wanted it, and it kind of makes you sad that maybe that's not what you want. So there's this feeling to me that something's coming in, an offer that's coming in, and it's something that you did have your eyes set on, but now you're not sure. So you're kind of moving forward. So in a way, it makes you kind of sad because it's like, well, I really don't want this. And, and it's weird because it's kind of like a growth, but at the same time, it feels like, it's kind of melancholy is more the word, not, and you could feel just the separation, but let's talk about, let's clarify. I'm going to clarify the Knight of Cups. Let's get more information on the Knight of Cups. Okay, it's Tower, Ten of Wands, Star. So it's been something that you've been wishing for. The Tower says that this Knight of Cups is coming from a change. And the change was, I felt very burdensome. And I think you're no longer feeling burdensome. And this Knight of Cups is actually making you feel hopeful. So maybe I have this wrong, but let's keep going. So it's kind of making you hopeful. So what is the Four of Cups then? With the Four of Cups not having our eyes set on it. What is the Four of Cups, please? Temperance, Moon, Queen of Swords. Okay, so this is where the Moon comes in. The Temperance is the balance emotionally. It's also the ability to make things happen, but the Moon is that things still aren't clear. And no wonder that the blindfold's on right there. So that things still aren't clear. And the Queen of Swords says you still want to move towards something that may not be the right thing. It may not be the right thing. And I say that only because the Queen of Swords, for one, is facing towards that Moon. For two, the Temperance can be a tricky card as far as emotional balance, but it also can be a tough card too. And I feel like with that Queen of Swords facing that Moon, it's like, okay, I'm headed towards something I'm not clear about. And then there's the blindfold on this Four of Cups. So like going through this and thinking that. Let's look at this Three of Swords. Yeah, you could be headed towards something that you're not looking at this Knight of Cups offer. But are you not looking at it on purpose? I feel like after those clarifiers that you aren't seeing it. Tell me about the Three of Swords here. What is the Three of Swords? Strength, Magician, Star. You're going to... so the strength, right? If you've been strong about this situation. I feel like, though, the Magician here is, again, we're going back. I feel like the Moon energy, the unclear, not understanding something, is also with this Magician. You know how I feel about the Magician, because the Magician can have sleight of hand. And I don't like to always go there with the Magician because it can also be a very positive card. But to me, it's not necessarily negative. It's saying that you might not be seeing everything that's being thrown in front of you. I feel like that's what's making you sad, because you feel like with this Star, like this, I'm headed towards my dreams here. And then you might feel like you might not be. Let's pull one more card. What comes after this Three of Swords? Yeah, because it may be, this feels like it might be hard, because this is, you could lose sight of what's right in front of you. And maybe that's why that Moon is in the challenge, letting you know that it's really going to be important to see things as clearly as possible, or to ask questions. What comes after the Three of Swords? Queen of Pentacles, so that's fine. You're still going to be in a position where This looks to me like you go growing from this situation over the next few days, and you just taking a look at it, because she's facing it. And I feel like she's facing it and saying, okay, the Queen of Pentacles will learn from mistakes or from whatever, but they're also very proud and very stable. And you will, this is one that you will get through this little thing. And it's not long lived, because again, this is a daily reading. So this isn't like forever. Might be a couple days where you're like, okay, but you come out of that, something happens. I want to clarify that Queen of Pentacles. I want to see, because something that is sparked by something. Because what else would make you go, oh wow, I need to, and it could be just you having that Three of Swords moment, and then getting clear and saying, wait a minute. And it could be dealing with this challenge of seeing things clearly, or if you can't, to ask the questions. Tell me more about this Queen of Pentacles. Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, Judgment. Wow, something is coming back around. That there was some stress. There was a thought of an ending here, like something ended, and then it's been rebuilt. Now, this could be your sense of self, that you've been stressed and it's been ended, and then you feel like you lost it, but you're gaining it back. So there is a sense of self here that you're gaining back. It's really interesting. I don't normally get that with these cards, but I am. And especially with that Queen of Pentacles, because she's very proud. And so I'm feeling that you're gaining that sense of self back. And maybe that Three of Swords has to happen to help you gain that sense of self. Because sometimes we don't see things until either we're hurt by them or something's taken away. And it feels to me like more something taken away. And maybe not taken away, but it leaves, right? It's not like on purpose or anything. We have the Two of Pentacles in your advice. I feel like a lot of times when I see the Two of Pentacles in advice, I'm thinking keep everything in balance, keep all the life areas. But I'm kind of getting that if you've been focusing on something, your attention needs to switch focusing on focus for a while. And maybe you need, he's looking down. And a lot of times when you're trying to balance and you're looking down, so this is just a physical thing, like you're looking down, it's actually easier for you to lose balance. When you're looking up and standing straight, it's easier to hold your balance. Okay, so I do know this because I was a dancer at one point, so it's true. Like, and I know this, like standing on point, like you're on point, and so I'm not being facetious. I know, like you look down and you can lose your balance, but when you're standing straight up and looking straight ahead, then you're going to see everything. And I feel like, if you really want it, and I'm almost getting the feeling too, like this situation might be topsy-turvy, so you do need to stand up and look straight ahead instead of down. In other words, don't look at the past, don't look at what's happened, don't look at what got you here. Look at where you're going and say, okay, this is where I'm going, this is where I can get to, and this is what I need to focus on and have my eyes set. So that's what I'm getting to with this. So it's more of a sense of standing straight up and going, no, I'm not looking at what got me here in this predicament. I'm going to say, how do I get out of it? And then use whatever tool you can and get whatever help you can to get out of the predicament. I don't feel like this is a predicament, but we've had the Chariot, we've had the Six of Swords, we've had these things where we're saying you're trying to move forward. Even the Knight of Pentacles in your strength, you've got the will to do this. But there's something that comes in here with that Knight of Cups that's going to shake things up for you a little bit. But I feel like that Queen of Pentacles is the key here. And it says, no, you got this, and you're going to get your sense of self back in check. Now, again, I feel like this has to happen, because sometimes our situations can dictate how we move forward. sometimes when things are moving just the way we want them to, we can lose ourselves, you know, because maybe this wasn't good for us. So we lose our sense of self. We lose our sense of who we are. And we can kind of like spiral a little bit. So I don't think this is long lived spiraling by any means, but I do feel like, I feel like it's positive because I feel like you absolutely like take charge back. And I feel like that's what the Emperor is too. Like you taking that charge back, getting back into it, being able to deal with the situation going forward. So there you have your reading for today. I hope you liked it. Take care. Have a great day and happy Friday.